FPS fans, brace yourselves. From ruthless masterminds to unstoppable warlords, we're counting down the top 10 most evil FPS villains of all time. Who's the worst? Let's find out. 10. Pagan Min from Far Cry 4. Pagan Min from Far Cry 4 is the kind of villain who proves that cruelty doesn't have to be loud to be terrifying. On the surface, he's calm, charming, even polite. But underneath that soft-spoken demeanor is a ruthless dictator who rules Kyrat through fear, torture, and absolute control. Pagan doesn't just kill his enemies, he humiliates them, toys with them, and treats human lives as disposable objects in his personal game of power. What makes Pagan Min especially evil is how casually he commits atrocities. Public executions, forced labor, drug trafficking, and the exploitation of Kyrat's people are all just tools to maintain his regime. He wipes out entire villages without hesitation and turns the country into a war zone purely to protect his ego and legacy. There's no greater cause driving him, no twisted ideology or false sense of justice, just his obsession with control and self-indulgence. Even more disturbing is how self-aware he is. Pagan knows he's a monster, and he doesn't care. He openly mocks the suffering he causes, treating violence as entertainment and leadership as a throne built on blood. In the end, Pagan Min isn't evil because he's insane or misunderstood. He's evil because he chooses to be, and he enjoys every second of it. 9. Frank Fontaine, Atlas, BioShock. Frank Fontaine, the man who hides behind the friendly face of Atlas in BioShock, isn't just evil, he's calculated, manipulative, and chillingly human. Fontaine builds his entire empire on lies. Disguised as a working-class hero, he earns the trust of Rapture's poorest citizens while secretly orchestrating riots, assassinations, and mass chaos from the shadows. Every act of kindness Atlas shows is a performance, carefully designed to move pieces into place. He doesn't just exploit people, he weaponizes their hope. His greatest crime is psychological. Fontaine doesn't conquer through brute force like Andrew Ryan, he breaks minds. Using mind control, manipulation, and emotional deception, he turns allies into pawns and heroes into slaves. The iconic "would you kindly" phrase isn't just a twist, it's proof that Fontaine strips away free will itself, reducing human beings to tools. Even children aren't off limits. Fontaine's involvement in the creation and exploitation of little sisters shows how far he's willing to go for power, profit, and dominance. There's no ideology, no higher cause, just greed and control. Frank Fontaine is pure corruption given a voice. He doesn't rule Rapture openly, he poisons it from within, proving that the most dangerous villains aren't gods or monsters, they're liars who know exactly what you want to hear. 8. Joseph Seed, Far Cry 5. Joseph Seed isn't just a villain, he's a master manipulator who weaponizes faith, fear, and blind devotion. As the self-proclaimed father of Eden's Gate in Far Cry 5, Joseph builds a doomsday cult by exploiting people at their weakest moments, twisting religion into a tool of control. He preaches salvation while ordering kidnappings, torture, forced drug use, and outright murder, all under the guise of preparing his followers for an inevitable collapse. What makes Joseph truly terrifying is how calm and convinced he is. He never sees himself as a monster. In his mind, every atrocity is justified. Every life taken is a necessary sacrifice. He strips people of their free will through psychological conditioning and bliss-induced brainwashing, turning families against each other and erasing identities in the name of obedience. His siblings enforce his vision with brutality, but Joseph is the architect, the one who decides who deserves salvation and who must suffer. By the end of Far Cry 5, Joseph Seed proves that the most dangerous evil isn't chaos or rage, it's absolute certainty. He doesn't want power for pleasure, he wants control for righteousness. And that belief that he alone knows the truth makes him one of the most disturbingly evil villains in modern gaming. 7. The Combine Half-Life series. The Combine from the Half-Life series aren't just villains, they're one of the most ruthlessly evil forces in video game history. This is a multi-dimensional empire that doesn't conquer worlds to rule them, it conquers them to strip them bare. When the Combine invaded Earth during the 7-Hour War, humanity didn't just lose, it was completely broken. Governments collapsed, militaries were erased, and the planet was turned into a resource farm for an alien machine empire. What makes the Combine truly horrifying is how systematic their cruelty is. Humans aren't just enslaved, they're repurposed. Citizens are rounded up, experimented on, and forcibly converted into transhuman soldiers like Combine Metro Cops and Overwatch units, stripped of identity, free will, and even basic humanity. Free thought is treated like a disease. The Combine poisoned the planet itself, draining Earth's oceans, suppressing human reproduction, and erasing culture through constant surveillance and propaganda. Cities are redesigned as prisons. Resistance isn't crushed quickly, it's slowly suffocated through fear, control, and attrition. The scariest part? The Combine don't hate humanity, they don't rage or gloat, they simply view humans as raw material, another resource to harvest, modify, and discard. That cold industrial indifference is what makes the Combine so deeply, disturbingly evil. General Shepard, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. General Shepard is one of the most cold-blooded villains in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 because his evil isn't loud or theatrical. It's calculated, patriotic on the surface, and absolutely ruthless underneath. On the outside, Shepard presents himself as a war hero and a man obsessed with protecting America at any cost. In reality, he's driven by ego, revenge, and a desperate need to control the narrative of modern warfare. After losing 30,000 Marines in a nuclear blast, Shepard decides that truth and morality are expendable. Instead of preventing future atrocities, he manufactures one. His most infamous act, the betrayal of Task Force 141, perfectly defines his villainy. Shepard murders Ghost and Roach in cold blood, burns their bodies, and erases their existence, all to cover up his role in escalating the global conflict. He knowingly allows World War III to unfold, so he can emerge as a decorated savior, rewriting history with himself as its hero. What makes Shepard truly evil is that he believes he's right. He doesn't see himself as a monster, he sees himself as necessary. He weaponizes loyalty, exploits soldiers' trust, and sacrifices countless lives for legacy and power. In the end, Shepard isn't just a traitor, he's the embodiment of how ambition, when unchecked, can turn patriotism into mass murder. Number 5. Andrew Ryan, BioShock. Andrew Ryan is one of the most chilling villains in video game history because his evil isn't loud or monstrous, it's ideological. As the founder of Rapture and BioShock, Ryan builds an underwater city meant to be a perfect objectivist utopia, free from government, religion, and morality imposed by others. But his obsession with absolute individualism quickly mutates into authoritarian control. When Rapture begins to crumble, Ryan doesn't question his beliefs. He doubles down, enforcing brutal surveillance, propaganda, and violence to maintain power. What makes Ryan truly evil is his hypocrisy. He preaches freedom while stripping it from everyone else, turning Rapture into a police state where dissent is punished and loyalty is demanded. His willingness to exploit Adam, ignore the suffering it causes, and manipulate science for profit leads directly to the city's collapse, mass addiction, and madness. Most disturbing of all is how Ryan treats people as tools rather than humans, including his own son. He orchestrates lives, murders, and betrayals to preserve his philosophy, even when it destroys everything he built. Andrew Ryan isn't evil because he enjoys cruelty. He's evil because he believes his vision is worth any cost, and he never accepts responsibility for the ruin he causes. Number 4. Dr. Samuel Hayden, Doom series. Dr. Samuel Hayden is one of the most deceptively evil characters in the entire Doom series, not because he's openly monstrous, but because he's terrifyingly rational about his cruelty. On the surface, Hayden presents himself as humanity's savior, a brilliant scientist who sacrificed his own body to continue his work and solve Earth's energy crisis. But beneath that calm, calculated exterior is a man willing to damn the universe if it means progress. Hayden knowingly builds an energy empire powered by hell itself, fully aware that Argent energy is created through the mass suffering and annihilation of countless souls. To him, those lives are simply an acceptable cost. What makes Hayden truly sinister is his complete lack of remorse. He repeatedly manipulates the Doomslayer, withholds critical information, and prioritizes the greater good, even as entire civilizations burn. In Doom 2016, he casually steals the Crucible at the height of a demonic invasion, fully prepared to let Earth continue bleeding if it serves his long-term vision. By Doom Eternal, the mask fully slips. Hayden is revealed to be deeply entangled with cosmic forces far beyond human morality, enforcing order through authoritarian control and mass sacrifice. He doesn't see himself as evil, he sees himself as necessary. And that's what makes Dr. Samuel Hayden so dangerous. He's not driven by chaos or hatred. He's driven by logic without empathy, ambition without limits, and a belief that no atrocity is too great if the outcome benefits him, or the future he's decided everyone must accept.
3. Vladimir Makarov from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Vladimir Makarov from Call of Duty Modern Warfare is pure, calculated evil personified. He's not just a typical villain, he's a terrorist mastermind who thrives on chaos and human suffering. Makarov orchestrates large-scale attacks with chilling efficiency, like the infamous airport massacre, deliberately targeting civilians to send a message and instill fear. He's ruthless, killing anyone who stands in his way, including his own allies if they fail him. What makes him especially terrifying is his intelligence and patience. He manipulates governments, soldiers, and entire organizations to achieve his goals, all while staying several steps ahead of his pursuers. Unlike villains motivated by power or wealth, Makarov's evil is ideological. He enjoys the destruction itself and the fear it spreads. Every action he takes leaves a trail of death and devastation, making him one of the darkest and most remorseless characters in video game history.
2. The Reapers from Mass Effect. The Reapers from Mass Effect are the ultimate cosmic nightmare. They're ancient, sentient machines that see organic life as flawed and short-lived, and they enforce a brutal, cyclical harvesting of civilizations every 50,000 years. They're not just killers, they're methodical, cold, and terrifyingly patient. Entire species, even technologically advanced ones, are no match for their overwhelming power. Planets and fleets are annihilated in seconds. What makes them truly evil isn't just their destruction, but their philosophy. They act out of malice, fear, or revenge. They do it because they believe it's necessary to preserve order. They manipulate, corrupt, and control intelligent life from the shadows, using agents, indoctrination, and propaganda to turn allies into weapons. Their presence makes the galaxy itself a ticking time bomb because survival is never guaranteed. The Reapers are the embodiment of inevitability. No plea, no hero, no alliance can fully stop them. They are cold, calculated extinction incarnate. The icon of sin. Doom. The icon of sin is the ultimate manifestation of pure evil in the Doom universe, literally a walking apocalypse. Unlike regular demons, it's more than a mindless beast. It's a calculated force of destruction, designed to bring hell to Earth on an unimaginable scale. Its sheer presence warps reality, spawning endless legions of hell's minions, while standing as a towering, grotesque monolith of flesh and fire. Every detail screams malice. The pulsating muscles, the exposed skull-like face, the gaping mouth used to birth demons. It's not just physically terrifying, it embodies the essence of demonic domination, showing no mercy, no reason, no humanity. When it appears, it's not just a fight, it's an embodiment of hell's will, a force so corrupting and overwhelming that every moment in its presence is pure chaos and terror. Defeating it isn't just about survival, it's about stopping the very incarnation of evil from consuming the world.
Those were the top 10 most evil FPS villains. Which one gave you chills the most? Smash that like button, subscribe, and join us for more dark gaming countdowns.